Tiffer, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother?
Not much. That's Mike. I'm Scott. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time, man. I know it's valuable, so we appreciate it.
How you guys doing today? No, I thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's funny because like I I don't know. I was watching like I have a 2-year-old son, so like anything I watch is kind of like at nighttime. It's like I want to put on something mindless or something that I haven't seen in a while, and like I threw on a season of Ink Master, and I remembered watching your season and being like a big fan of your work. And I'm like, you know what, he would be perfect for the show. So it just like spurred me to reach out to you. So
I'm not wearing checkers today. I'm sorry.
you're not wearing checkers, no, and
No.
That was a pretty sweet outfit, I will say.
it was pretty good.
And I thought that was going somewhere else. I thought you were going to tell me you put on Lululemon or something.
I
mean,
did.
no, Coco Lemon. There you go.
Coco melon. Yeah. Have you done a Coco melon tattoo yet at this point?
I have not. You know what? That's a good idea.
someone's gonna ask for it at some point.
Hey, if you draw it and post it, they will come.
Not only that, if you stay in the business for, a number of years, the kids will think it's like ironic in like 10, 15 years to go get Coco melon tattoo. So
yeah, well, here's hoping I got 10 or 15 years left in me.
Well, I guess a good starting point is how long you been in the business now?
It'll be 18 years in November.
18 years. And was this something that you knew you wanted to do, or were you just an artist beforehand and it kind of found you?
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up in a family of artists, but it was just like a pastime. I actually raced professional supercross and motocross for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I was homeschooled because of all the traveling for racing.
Oh, really? That you were that young?
Yeah, I started at 4 and raced until I was 20, 25 almost.
Huh. Wow. And what made you stop?
A couple of injuries, and a couple of friends of mine also in the same year had injuries that caused paralysis. And I also had my son the same year, and just everything combined kind of,
pushed you in a new direction.
Starts to make you think, right? Yeah. That kind of shit. So, and my dad, this is crazy because not a lot of people know this story. So I'm going to say it on this show right now.
All right,
let's go for it.
My dad got super into Miami Ink 18 years ago.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he knew that I was taking a break from racing and just kind of rethinking the direction I was going. And he said, "What do you think about tattooing?" And I said, "Yeah." And then we opened a shop together, and I learned how to tattoo in my own shop with no apprenticeship.
Wow. Like, were you testing yourself while doing this? Were you just hey, this is my first time, come on in, after you're prepared?
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Oh, hey, so is this 18 and up or
yeah. Say whatever you want.
Go for it, man.
I take my shirt off. I just want to make sure, right? So
you might be the first father-son, like father pushing their son into tattooing that I've ever heard of. Like, you don't see that come along too often.
He's my hero. He's my best friend. But I mean, he's a smart man. And he literally said, "I can see this in 10 years being huge." Referring to tattooing.
Yeah.
Like, who would know? I mean, and here we are. Tattooing's grown so much in the last 15 years.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. It seems to only be getting it's almost like a standard. It's like I feel at some points it's harder to find people without tattoos.
I was gonna say, I literally tell people all the time that don't have tattoos that you're a rare breed.
There you go, Mike.
Yep,
Mike's a rare breed.
Mike's a rare. Oh, he's a rare breed in a lot of ways, but
I'm walking mayonnaise as I put it, and all clean canvas. Yeah. Nothing's there right now.
Rare breed. Damn.
I think
was never my thing. I don't have piercings. I don't have tattoos, and I'm never. And I don't look at somebody like, "Oh, what are you doing?" But at the same time, it was never a point where I'm like, "Yeah, let's put it on my body."
No, I'm like, you do you, boo, but you are a rare breed.
I know, man. I know. You're welcome, Scott.
Yeah. I've been telling him he's a rare breed for the last 9 years that we've been doing this show. So I agree with you, Tiffer. When you start that shop, how does one even not apprentice? Did you hire guys that were experienced around you, or you literally were just like, okay, come to my shop, I'll tattoo you?
I had a shotgun apprenticeship on a guy that tattooed. Okay, this is in Lubbock, Texas, mind you.
Ooh.
circling around in the city of Lubbock looking for shops to work in. If there's an artist at a shop, they're probably committed to that shop because there's just so few of them, right? And,
Gotcha.
I had this guy that tattooed out of his house come to my house, give me like a shotgun apprenticeship over the course of like 14 days.
Wow.
14 days.
And I said, dude, that's it. And then we opened it and I said, okay, let's make it work. I had the shop for almost 10 years.
My God. Like, when you're first doing, like, you get the first person, are you excited? Is it nervous? Is it like, this is my whole life coming to a head in one moment? Or what's going on through your head?
No, it was a very much like, what the fuck did I get myself into? I sometimes wonder where that first client of mine in the shop is, and if they've seen the progression or like, looking at their little like butterfly on their wrist. I often wonder what's going through their head right now. So yeah, it was a wild ride. It was a lot of trial and error and a lot of error, mostly error.
What is that like, knowing like you're not ready and you're putting permanent pieces on people's skin? Like, is it nerve-wracking, or you're not even really thinking about it at that point?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't nerve-wracking because I don't think that I really respected the craft
Gotcha.
like I do, right? I think that getting into it originally, I was like, man, it was when you first get into it, I think it's common for tattooers early on, at least when I started 18 years ago, to be a rock star. You are more like, I'm going to go out and party and I'm going to talk to everyone at the bar about tattoos, and I'm going to throw parties at my house and invite everybody. I'm a rock star. That's what this is about. Now I'm like, I don't want to go to a fucking bar. And if someone asks me if I tattoo, I tell them I'm a golfer.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I respected it the way I do now. So it was very nerve-wracking, but it was different.
Yeah.
When you're getting started, are you trying to concentrate on doing like original pieces? Are you just trying to get any customer and doing the basics and all? Okay, you want barbed wire, that sounds good, or all that, or how do you progress?
I had no knowledge of the industry. I'm telling you, I really didn't. So I just thought that's how it was. If they walked in and picked a design off the wall, that's what I did. And I thought that's how tattooing worked. It took me a long time to realize that the best shop in my hometown is not the same as the best shop in another place. It's completely different. My standards were based on the best shop in my hometown. And I thought that the walk-ins was tattooing. It turns out, I mean, you can make a great living doing walk-ins. You can be a really talented, clean tattooer taking walk-in flash tattoos and make a great living, but it's not the only way to make a living in tattooing.
Yeah. So when does that start to like you're doing any piece you see, and when does that really start taking off to like you developing kind of your own style and the stuff we see today, which is like, I look at some of your Instagram photos, I'm like blown away by some of it. When do you actually like take that seriously, and how do you even like work that into, okay, I want to put this on skin eventually? Are you giving people free tattoos? Are you practicing at home somehow? Like, what is going on?
A lot of free tattoos.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of free tattoos. And then back then, what did we have? We had Hastings Superstore, and you went and picked up Tattoo Flash magazine or Inked magazine. You didn't have all these other artists' portfolios at your fingertips.
Yeah.
So you stumble upon some work that you didn't expect to see. Like, oh shit, people are actually doing something with tattoos. At least in my experience in a small town with no knowledge and no guidance and no mentor. So you stumble on that and you're like, wow, I was clueless. Oh.
That is pretty. That did lead me to a question I was going to ask you later on, but that leads me to it now. Like, this looks like one of Mike's. This is our usual. Mike's got like 12 dogs running around.
Yeah, I got mine right here.
Mine's upstairs sleeping as per usual. But with the advent of like social media and tattoo shows, like, is the potential for growth just so much quicker for people because they can get on and look at just the most insane pieces of art? Or do you still think they got to start at the very, very beginning? Like, or do you see the exponential on people going faster and faster and faster?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
because I think that you do have to start at the beginning. There are some basics, and there's a lot of things that 15 years ago we had to learn that no one today has to learn.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily has to learn, but just doesn't. It's not relevant for the craft as far as like machine the involvement of like the machines and the equipment.
Yeah.
But I think it's a combination of learning the basics, learning the bare bones, like, and also seeing stuff that inspires you in a direction that you want to push and grow. But that's also on you, right? That's on you to have that go get 'em mentality because I've seen plenty of apprentices that are either complacent or, you know, they think that they're just going to fall into it, or they're going to apprentice in a good shop and all of a sudden be a appointment only artist right out the gate.
Yeah, I just like think of it like through the lens of like music, and like seeing these kids, these 9-year-old kids on YouTube who are like playing things from Tool, and you know, it blows my mind. But they have all this training available and visuals and things I wish I had as as a kid, just to see like, oh, that's how he played that, or that's how he did it. So I'm just curious how that transferred to the tattoo industry.
I would agree, absolutely. I think that there is still a lot of knowledge that is readily available for someone that actually wants to soak it in. You know, so there are some apprentices that come out of an apprenticeship already doing amazing tattoos. I'm not trying to downplay people that are talented that actually push and try to better themselves, because there are apprentices that I feel like I should have been at 15 years where I should have been at 5 or 6 years where I am at 15, because of how long the journey I took to get.
Yeah.
And some of these kids, or I say kids, but some of these artists are they're fucking 10-year veterans at year 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck y'all. Get the fuck out.
It's hard not to get like that with certain things. You're like, unbelievable,
Yeah, well, any old school artist that's listening to this podcast would tell me, fuck you, because I didn't do an apprenticeship. I mean, it's just, it's the natural progression of any industry.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to school for like video editing, which is what I wanted to do and stuff. It was old school VHS, and now I could do everything I used to do on my phone in an hour. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So, but I do see the kids. I'm like, yeah, screw you. Like I used to sit in the lab till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to edit a 3-minute segment of something.
Yeah, and it came out like half as good as what you just did.
Yep.
I mean that's seriously. I mean, but as much as I'm saying you didn't pay your dues, there's a guy in front of me that's like, you didn't pay your dues.
Yeah.
So, evolution, dude. I mean, you can't stop it.
That's it.
You either roll with it or throw in the towel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with all this talk about like how you got to your point, I was wondering, was there like one tattoo in particular that you did where you kind of like, damn, I'm good. This is it. I'm no longer trying to figure this out. I know what this is.
I still don't think I'm good. So I'm still trying to reach that point. But there wasn't a particular tattoo. There was a particular instance or situation or like a milestone in my life that is when it changed. So I got tired of the walk-ins. I'm in Lubbock, Texas. I'm doing Aquatos Veritas on freaking Frat Daddies. I'm doing Celtic crosses, and hey, that's fine. I'm making money, and that's cool. But it's just not what I had in mind.
Yeah.
So I sold my shop after almost 10 years, and I was like, I'm going to get a big boy job, and went to school for radiology tech.
Really?
And that was 2013. And a good friend of mine, actually my business partner at the shop here in Dallas now, was like, you don't need to quit tattooing. You just got to get out of Lubbock. So I went and did some guest spots and just started to like educate myself. And then we both moved to Dallas together, worked at a really nice prominent shop here, which was a great opportunity. I'm blessed to have been given that opportunity, and 3 years there and now 6 years in our own shop. But I was like, I always go back to school. I told myself I'm going to give tattooing one more year. Sold my dirt bike, sold my truck. I got renters in my house in Lubbock, which I still have. And I was like, I'm out. I'm going to give it 1 year. And that was in 2014.
Yeah.
Same.
So where's your mentality now? How many years? What's on the horizons now? Or are you pretty much like, okay, I'm tattooing now?
man, there's still so much I want to learn.
Yeah.
There's still so much
That's
growth
awesome.
that I'm looking for. And, you know, I think artists in general, musicians, like, and it doesn't matter, any kind of creative mind is always, I think the only way that you progress is to always
Do something else.
yeah, know that there's more. At the point that you say, I figured it all out, that's the time to quit.
Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
somebody asks you, like, what's the peak achievement? If you can actually pinpoint the peak achievement, then where do you go from there? If you can already say that this is your peak, then how do you go higher than that? So
take us to the Ink Master experience.
oh hell.
Give us okay, how did this happen? Give us a little bit into the, you know, because I watch that show occasionally, you know. I really just like to see the artwork.
Sure.
But I look at the flash challenges and things like that. I'm like, this has to be 12-hour production days and long stints, and like it looks like it's grueling.
3 days to film one episode.
What is it?
Wow.
3 days to film one episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you apply for this? Did people reach out to you? How did it find you?
So they had reached out 3 times. The first time I was still working at the shop that I mentioned earlier.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. Like, this is a good opportunity to get some, you know, get my name out and expand. And so I made it through the first interview, which is a phone call interview, and then I made it to after that as a Skype interview, but nothing ever came from it after that.
Okay.
And then the next, maybe the year after that, I got another email asking about saying that they were interested, and I just ignored it. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I already tried. And, you know, it didn't go anywhere. And then I got a third email another year or two later, and that was 2018.
Okay.
So I got that email, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's go. Let's see what happens. And it just, I mean, it was just like right out the gate. There was no hesitation on either side. Like I said, let's see what happens, and they were already like, you're in. You're already in. They tell you, they can't tell you that you're in.
Right.
Yeah.
But they can hype you up with like little hints of you're already in.
Now, before we go any further, like when you are doing that show, are you leaving your shop behind, your clients behind, appointments behind, or are you back
Everything.
and forth? Everything.
Yeah, and you don't know how long you're going to be there. I could have gone home on episode 1 or 2 for all I knew, right?
Right.
So knowing that there was the potential of it being longer, I had to reschedule 2 full months of appointments. And I also, like, I did a little bit of a giveaway, or not a giveaway, but I did like a special. Like, you get a full day at half day price, because that put some money in my wallet, in my account, just to help pay for bills while I was gone, because I didn't know how everything was going to go. Sure. I ended up being for just over 2 months.
That's a long time. And where is that filming? I know some of it was filmed in Jersey, right?
That's where I was filming at. It's no longer filming in Jersey. Like, the new seasons are no longer filming in Jersey, but that's where I was in Newark. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so yeah, a little over 2 months.
What's kind of the experience when you're on there, and are you ever cautious? Because a lot of these reality shows are waiting for that one sound bite and all to make, oh, he's the evil Ink Master, and oh, he's the good Ink Master. Are you on like pins and needles, or is every day just like whatever you shoot?
I think that you get to that point, but not until later on, especially if you make it further into the season, right? Yeah. So you're super nervous going in. And then once you get there and you kind of get settled in, you're like, holy shit, I'm filming TV. This is cool. This is cool, right? Like, not a lot of people get to, you know, experience this. So then your attitude changes, and you kind of get settled in and get excited. And then within 1 or 2 episodes, you're like, fuck this. I'm mic'd up for 10 to 12 hours a day. Yeah. You know, I can't, you know, I can't go to the park. I can't walk around the block. I can't have any guests. And this guy takes everything personally, and fuck him. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get that impression from the show. It's a lot of time, and what seems like a lot of fake drama. Like,
oh shit. Hang on. Was it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait a second.
Yeah, we'll wait 1 sec. Usually that's a quick reboot right there.
Mike, where are you located? Where are you at?
I am in Douglasville, Georgia. I used to live up in New Jersey where Scott lives.
Okay.
He lives in Danville. So
So you knew
Sorry,
Scott
guys.
before. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
back. Sorry about that. I have some
Okay,
kind of wire issue going on.
Sorry, just to like chime in on what you're saying. The drama is real.
Okay.
okay.
So I know that there's a lot of people out there that are going to say like it's scripted or it's fake or the time limit's not real. The time limit's real.
Yep.
The time that we're given to do a tattoo, the time we're given to consult with our client, draw and tattoo, that's all real.
Okay.
The drama is real. The thing about it is they're so good at. I mean, you're in a pressure cooker, right? We're completely like secluded from the world. And you're in there, and some people you like, when you walk into a party and you see a guy at the other side of the room, and automatically without talking to him, you're like, I can't, I don't vibe with that guy.
Oh, yeah, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
I hate his face.
That dude's holding a Bud Light right now. Wow, that was a bad joke.
We have tons of them every week. Don't worry about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But anyway, they put you in, and then they put you in house reality, and that's when you get to sit down and like air your grievances, like or tell somebody how you feel about their work. Well, in the beginning, you all know what you're there for. You're there to film TV. You're there to do good tattoos, but you're there to film TV.
Okay.
So you're all there, and you're like, hey, you're going home because your tattoo sucks. They're like, no, fuck you, your tattoo sucks. And then afterwards, you have a shot, you high five, and it's all fun. But the longer you're there, the more stressful it gets. And then the more like cliquish it gets. And then you end up going into a scene with somebody that is going to take it personal. I don't want to be in a scene with this guy. Well, put me in anyway. And then you say you say some shit, they say something, you're like, they're poking the bear.
Yeah.
They're poking the bear, and you're in a pressure cooker. So it's real.
Okay.
They're just drawing it out of you in a way that comes out, because there's been plenty of times like, I don't want to be in a scene today. I don't want to be in a scene. The response is, well, I guess you don't get any TV time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what am I here for? Put me in a scene then.
I think you must have done pretty well, because I felt like there was and I only have recency bias because I told you I put it on like, after the kid went to bed, and I was like, I don't know. I thought I remember this season. I haven't seen them all, but you seem like you did pretty well avoiding the drama. Like, I feel like no one really had a problem with you, and your tattoos seemed to be like up in the top the whole competition for the most part.
I had a really good, which is unfortunate because they don't use report cards, but I had a really good report card, right? I think 5 or 6 tattoo of the days, and I only went to the bottom when it was top 5. Well, 3 of the 5 are going to the bottom anyway.
Right. 1 bottom 3 for what I looked up.
Yeah. And but I just try to do good tattoos. I had a strategy going in: draw a 4-hour tattoo, take the 6 hours to do it, so that way you can button it up and just stay in your lane.
Yeah.
So I tried to avoid the drama. If it came to me, I was, I didn't engage, or at least I tried not to engage too much.
Yeah.
When you're in this stressed out environment, you're doing this for months, and you do good work, but it's ups and downs. When it was all over, was there a part of you, or it's just kind of like, I need like 2 weeks of not even looking at a tattoo right now. I just need to get away.
I went straight back to work, but also the way it was filmed is whenever we had that last episode and they give us our finale projects.
Yeah.
We have to go home, and all those are done at our home shop. Right. So it was 5 7-hour sessions with our canvas, our finale canvas, who came to our home shop to do it. And which means I had to tell everybody that worked in my shop that they had to reschedule appointments on those days. Yeah. So, I mean, I was still even though the show was airing, I was still tattooing a back piece. So even though I was filming for 2 months at location, I wasn't done with the show until after the finale aired. And whenever that was, like 8 months or 7 months later, whatever it was.
Jeez.
So, I mean, I was invested more than just the 2 months of being on location. I was invested the whole time I was tattooing the back piece, going to film the finale. So it didn't end for me until then.
Yeah. Did you find the experience worth it? Like, did you think it was a good experience in your life, or it was like, all right, it was something I did?
I think it took some time for me to like appreciate some of the times I had there. Like at first, I was super salty. I left with fingers in the air, and I'm like, I'm out. Don't. I turned down interviews that they were setting me up with. They have, they've got their PR girl. It's like, hey, we got some interviews set up. I'm like, yeah, won't be there. Don't want any part of it. And which is unfortunate. I wish I would have not been so reluctant to take on these other opportunities that, these other doors that have opened outside of, just tattooing. But it took a couple of years to like really realize that I missed out on some opportunities, and also realize that I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. We had it's going on years now, but we had Clean on maybe 7 years ago, something like that. And he is such an interesting guy. Like, he was tattooing while doing the interview, which
that's Clean.
Yeah. I was just curious, is that the person he like? I mean, we got to know him for about a half hour, and what we've seen on TV, but is that what he's like? Like, is he just
Clean is real? Like Clean, that he's 100% real. What you see on TV, that's Clean. That's Clean. He's awesome. I love that dude. He'll give you the shirt off his back. I could call him right now, even if we haven't talked in a while. I could hit him up and be like, hey man, I need some help. He's a really good dude. And he's super animated. He's also made for TV.
Yeah. He's definitely got.
He has not portrayed in anything other than Clean himself.
That's awesome.
Well, where do you see? Do you plan to be like wrestling? You talk about learning new things. Do you say I'm going to tattoo until like I'm 60 and then call it a day? Do you see yourself saying, I'm going to go another path sometime soon? Don't know when. Where do you see Tiffer down the road?
I would like to think, and I don't know what that number is, right?
Yeah.
I would like to think about another 15 years. I'll be 40 in October. Okay. So we're talking 55, 60 years old and still tattooing. I mean, I'm not saying that I won't do that or that I can't do that. I just don't know. Now, I do have, my dad's got an SBA approved franchise that I want to invest in. I do want to start making money outside of the industry, but I also want to find ways to give back to the industry outside of just the tattooing part of it. If I can invest in supply companies, or if I can like partner up with some people that still support the industry that's given me so much, that's also some stuff I'm working on. But I don't have anything set in stone, and I don't have a set time frame of how much longer I've got to tattoo. But I'll tattoo for another 15 years at least.
Are you at a point now, obviously with the popularity of the show, the popularity of your work, the visibility, you have a lot of are you at the point now where you can be very selective at what you want to tattoo? Like, okay, I'm only going to take things that appeal to me or things that I want to tattoo. Are you at that point?
Yeah, fine. I mean, just recently, honestly, I've changed the way that I'm doing my bookings, and only until the last year or two have I started to be more selective. So, I mean, if something comes in that's totally out of my wheelhouse, I'll give them a referral. I'm not going to take on. I'm not just trying to make money. I also want to do good work.
Right.
But yeah, so just in the last year or two, I've started to be more selective.
What's the thing that you're so happy that you'll never tattoo again?
Oh shit. You want one thing?
Give me whatever you could think of. Give me three. What's one thing we'll never see Tiffer Wright? Tiffer Wright tribal, I'm assuming, is never happening.
I'll do tribal. Dude, hey, send me some tribal.
Oh, okay.
Don't send me an octopus.
Octopus.
Is that a common request?
I mean, it's more common than you. Hey, get out of here. Go. Come on. Hey, yeah. Anything with, so I say anything with tentacles, but that's not true. But octopus, squids, I'm out.
Okay.
Wow.
What about your Veritas tattoos? Are you still doing those?
Hey, send them to me. If you got some guy in Lubbock that wants to come get it done, it's just, $2,000 day rate. I'll do Octatos Veritas all day long. You don't get a break because you're a cool guy and with your Lacoste shirt on.
As a tattoo artist, you must hear some kind of stories or seen some. What is the worst tattoo that you have and anybody's ever shown off to you?
Shown off? Hang on.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So, like, I'm sure, like, you go to say, "Hey, check out this tattoo," whatever. What's the one story somebody showed off? You're like, Jesus, what happened there?
Man, but that happens a lot though, because we get cover up requests a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to really say. I mean, I can tell you what the worst tattoo I did was.
Go for it.
I think that one's way better because anybody that ever saw it, and I actually covered it up for free a couple years later because I felt so bad about it. But this guy wanted zombie Jesus holding his severed penis and a rubber chicken in his hands. And for some reason, I did it.
You got Mike. That's the one tattoo Mike wanted to get.
I'm still a man of faith. I'm still a man of faith, and I don't do shit like that. But I did it. I mean, I was like, okay, cool, yeah, sounds great. And then a couple of years later, I'm like, hey, I was actually the one that brought it up. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna cover that up. You gotta let me cover that up. He just had a child, and he's like, actually, I'm glad you said something. So
And what did you cover it up with?
I covered it up with a firefighter themed tattoo because he became a fireman. I'm like, that dude, let's go. Let's get that covered.
That's awesome.
In hindsight, I should have thought of that idea.
Yeah,
I was all fine with the penis part, but the rubber chicken, that just looks ridiculous.
That was crossing the line. The rubber chicken crossing the line. I mean, in hindsight, I should have said, dude, we got to put something else in that other hand.
He said, what about squid? And then I'm like,
that's the reason I don't do squids anymore.
Tiffer, we're coming up on our time here. I really enjoyed speaking to you speaking with you. I really like your artwork. I love the stuff you do. I like your perspective on tattooing and not taking it, yourself too seriously and being able to, kind of see through everything and want to give back and whatnot. So it's very cool. If people want to check you out or check out your artwork, where's the best place for them to go?
Instagram's the best way. It's the absolute best way. It's the most updated portfolio. I've got a website that needs updating, but Instagram is updated regularly.
And that's at Smooth Operator, right?
Smooth Operator is just like my undername. I don't know what you call it. The little.
Okay.
It's literally at Tiffer Wright. No spaces, just Tiffer Wright.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it too, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's the second best Instagram name on the show. We had the mountain donkey once, but
mountain donkey.
Yeah, he actually gave it up. Like, I was looking through our old Instagram, we tagged him, and it's somebody else's site now it goes to. But
I might think about making some changes. I've always liked Smooth Operator, but mountain donkey, that's pretty good.
What are your feelings on Sade? Smooth Operator. Is that who sings that, right?
Yeah, Sade. Yeah, Sade.
Yeah.
You know I'm jamming Sade. I got a Supreme Sade shirt that I wear once a week.
There you go. Nice. Tiffer, thanks so much, man, and really good luck with whatever you decide to do, whether it's tattooing or decide to do something completely different down the line. We'd love to have you on when you got something coming up again.
Absolutely. Hit me up anytime. I'd love to come back. Mike, it's good to meet you as well.